Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Olson from the Smart Weight Loss Coaching Podcast. I've been working with Julia for almost 100 episodes now, and she has really helped me grow my podcast from basically just my parents, my husband and kids, and my sister as listeners to over 17,000 downloads. I mean, the amount that she expanded my audience went way beyond my expectations. She really blew my mind. I have quadrupled the number of downloads over the past 12 months. Julia has been so much more than just my podcast teacher. She has been like a partner to me, really taking an interest in my program and helping me more than I ever could have asked for. I highly recommend Julia.
How amazing is that? I am so grateful that Dr. Lisa shared her experience. And if her story resonated with you and you're thinking, wait, I want results like that too, that is exactly what we're doing inside the Podcast Growth Collective. It's the place for online business owners who want to turn podcasting into a powerful growth tool without the burnout and without guessing what to fix. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and finally start seeing results from your podcast, I would love to support you. Head to thepodcastteacher.com/collective to learn more and to join us. And now let's jump into today's episode. Welcome to Podcasting for Introverts. I'm Julia Levine, aka the Podcast Teacher. I'm a fellow introvert, entrepreneur, and educator. If you want to start a podcast and expand your reach without social media, this is the show for you. Let's get started. Hey, and welcome back. Today, I have Jennifer Gozer on the podcast. I'm so excited to have her here today to talk about LinkedIn. Jen, welcome. Go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what you do and what kind of audience you serve right now.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Julia. I'm super excited to be here and talk about LinkedIn with you. My name is Jennifer Gozer, and I am a hiring expert with over 17 years of experience hiring for big and small businesses throughout my career. And I created Hiring Hub because I really wanted to help small business owners that need to hire, but they don't have a big HR department or recruitment department, or they don't have the budget to hire an agency and spend thousands and thousands of dollars for that. Um, so Hiring Hub provides resources and courses that teach small business owners how to hire. And one of my courses teaches small business owners how to leverage LinkedIn to increase their SEO and brand visibility, which all plays a big impact on hiring.
Fantastic. That sounds so interesting. And I know that anyone who has a background in corporate, their ears are probably perking up right now. But for people who they're not in that corporate world, they're not hiring maybe a solopreneur, can you give us kind of like the bird's eye view of what exactly is LinkedIn? Is it social media? Is it networking? Is it somewhere in between? And then why, if someone is not looking to hire, why would they want to be on LinkedIn? Why would this be beneficial for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn is really awesome in so many different ways, and it's my personal favorite platform to use. Um, but if you've never heard of LinkedIn, it's the world's largest professional networking platform. And actually, since 2024, there are over 1 billion users globally. So it does not matter if you are a small company or a big company or you're a solopreneur. It's a great way to make authentic connections and grow your professional network.
Okay, so grow the professional network. Awesome. I am actually someone who has not gotten on LinkedIn yet myself, which is one of the reasons I'm so excited to have this conversation with you because I'm learning right alongside my listeners. And so I'm super intrigued. You mentioned SEO, there's networking. It sounds like there are a lot of good reasons to be on LinkedIn. And so, for someone like me who's brand new, never been on LinkedIn before, doesn't have an account, has no idea what they're doing, do you have any tips for getting started? What do we do first?
Yes. So if you're brand new to LinkedIn and you've never used the platform, I have created 4 tips for you. So, number one, you're just going to want to get on and create an account. And then you're going to want to upload a professional photo and a background photo. So, if you've used like Facebook, it's very similar, but you want to pick a background photo that reflects your brand. And then you want to create a headline that tells your audience what you do and who you serve. My third tip is, and especially for podcasters, I would highly recommend using the search bar and the messenger tool to grow your network and increase collaboration opportunities. For example, if you're a podcaster, you can use Messenger as a tool to find and like book guest speakers for your podcast. And then number 4 is my favorite. It's activating creator mode on LinkedIn. And that will give you special access to features like LinkedIn audio events, LinkedIn Live, and newsletters and things like that.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot of information. Let me just see here. So, first, we're creating an account, and you mentioned a headline. Is that what it was called?
Yes. So you can tell your audience what you do and who you serve. So if you're a podcaster and your audience is teaching how to create podcasts for small business owners, then you want to put your audience in there. So tell your audience what you do and who you serve.
Gotcha. So, it sounds kind of like it's like the one liner on like Instagram or Facebook.
Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
Okay, great. And then creator mode, that sounds like that unlocks some additional features, which sound really cool. And is that literally just a setting you can just like toggle on that you want to opt into creator mode?
That's a great question. And yes, you want to activate creator mode, but you have to have a couple requirements. So you want to make sure that you have at least 150 followers, and you want to make sure you share your content and then you follow the professional community standards, which is a fancy way of saying follow the LinkedIn rules. And once you do that, you can access all these amazing features on LinkedIn, like your audio events, or if you want to do LinkedIn Live, or you want to get really fancy, people can follow you because you can have connections on LinkedIn and then you have a follow feature. For example, I have over 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. Now I've been
Wow.
using it since 2008, but these are all authentic, real connections. And LinkedIn is really strict. So if they get, a whiff of you buying followers, they will not let you use the platform. So it's a real authentic place to make connections in business.
Okay. So, I'm a little deer in the headlights here because this is just such an interesting foreign world to me. And so this is probably a stupid question, but how does someone get followers? Is it just like any other social media where you post content and then once people see your content, they can follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're making connections on LinkedIn, and this is not a stupid question at all, once you make a connection, that person that you're connecting with is an automatic follower.
Okay.
And once you grow your audience, like every day, I have different people following me in my industry. People can actually follow you without connecting with you once you have that creator mode turned on. But just starting out for somebody that's never used LinkedIn, you just want to grow your network and increase those connections so you in turn get more followers.
Gotcha. So, if we have other friends or colleagues that are on LinkedIn, we should look them up and create a connection with them. Is that right?
Absolutely. I always recommend when I'm teaching people how to use LinkedIn, like try to set a goal of like 20 a month, and you'll be surprised how quickly your network will grow.
Okay. That is some valuable stuff right there. I'm learning so much. This is great. So let's shift into talking about the content piece. So we're supposed to post content on LinkedIn. And, this is not Instagram. We're not up there doing our little dances. So, what type of content can we post on LinkedIn? And how do we do this? Is it an article?
So, first, you're going to want to create a profile and grow your network before you start doing this. But once you do that, you can create and share posts. So, for anybody in the podcast world, you can actually create content and share it on your feed. You can also share your podcast link on your post. And that's a really great feature too that LinkedIn offers. And then if you want to go further than that, you can embed your link on LinkedIn articles. And you can do that through like SoundCloud or Spotify.
Okay, so one of the things that I've heard about using LinkedIn is for podcasters, they've created this podcast content, and then we want to milk that content for all it's worth. So we repurpose it. We take a soundbite and we make a reel. We post 4 takeaways and we post that as an Instagram carousel post or whatever we're doing to try and get that same information, that same message out to different people on different platforms in different ways to appeal to different learning styles, etc. So some of the advice that I've just heard throughout the industry is that you can kind of take the text from your podcast episode, whether you are scripting it out or whether you use the transcription service to transcribe it after you've recorded it. So you have this text, this print, this writing, and then I've heard that you should kind of turn that into almost like a blog post and put that on LinkedIn. And then you can leverage the SEO from that to, kind of get your content in front of more people. Is that advice that I've heard? Is that correct? Is that a good thing to do with our content?
I think that's a great thing to do with your content. Just hearing from you, I'm not in the podcast world, but I would think that would be great if podcasters are doing that. One thing it came to the top of my head is you can create a LinkedIn article that could be your quote unquote blog post. And when you do that, you can talk about your podcast, who your guest speaker was, and then you could say, listen here if you want to hear the full podcast, and you can embed your link, something like that. But absolutely, LinkedIn is so good for SEO and just getting your content out there in another way.
So, on that note of SEO, do you have any suggestions for best practices? Obviously, I'm sure there's a whole rabbit hole we could go down here, but just kind of surface level, like basic tips. Are there any like top things that you need to make sure that you do if you're posting an article or written content on LinkedIn?
Well, I would say best practices are just completing your profile. That's a great starting point. And then when you complete your profile and you optimize it, your keywords are going to pop out and increase your SEO, which is going to actually have a ripple effect on your content and your articles that you're creating. So the best thing you can do is create a profile and complete your profile before you start posting your content. And that's really going to help you.
Okay, good to know. SEO is a whole rabbit hole, as I mentioned, and I've kind of gone down this rabbit hole lately because I've been learning web SEO, but I've also been learning podcast SEO, and they're very, very different. And so, kind of the just high level overview without going down the rabbit hole is that podcast SEO is like really general, generic keywords. So, marketing, podcasting, like things like that. Whereas web SEO is you really want to hit those unique phrases like best podcasting equipment or best podcasting equipment for beginners. Like you're targeting more specific, more narrow things. What is the SEO land like on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So you're just going to want, when you fill out your profile, your headline should definitely have the word podcaster or podcast, the name of your podcast on your headline. Then there is a summary. You can kind of summarize what you do in LinkedIn, and you can definitely use those keywords throughout your summary. That's all going to increase your SEO. And like you said, it's different, right? So on LinkedIn, you just want those keywords. Like you want to use the word podcaster or podcast. But number one, definitely in your headline. Number two, in your summary. And then when you're posting your content, that's going to pop up more whenever you're using hashtags. It all ties together.
Okay, great. So it sounds like similar to podcasting where you kind of want to use those big general terms.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. That's really good to know. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any other tips about LinkedIn?
Get on it. Get on LinkedIn today. Just sign up. And then another tip I will give y'all before I leave is download the app because the app can go on your phone. And as you're growing your network, it's just going to be easier for you to set aside 5 or 10 minutes a day and say, okay, I'm going to connect with at least a couple people today and grow your network. And the more you grow your network, you can grow your audience and your podcast can be heard globally because there's over 1 billion users globally on LinkedIn.
Wow, that's a lot of people for sure.
It's a lot of people. And it's important when you have your podcast, you're able to reach a larger audience. And LinkedIn is a great tool for that.
Fantastic. Well, how can listeners connect with you further if they have more LinkedIn questions? They want to learn more about LinkedIn. Where can they connect with you? Do you have any resources?
Yeah. So if you want to check me out, go to hiringhub.digital. I do have a LinkedIn course. It's kind of a starter course for small businesses. And if you ever ready to hire, I'm your girl. Look me up on hiringhub.digital.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Jen. This was a valuable conversation. I know I learned so much, and I'm sure that the audience did as well.
No, you're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening. If something in this episode resonated with you and you're thinking about starting your own podcast, I have a free resource that will help you. It's called the Podcast Roadmap: 7 questions to start your journey. To grab it, just head to thepodcastteacher.com/roadmap. See you next week.